Good morning, students. The next organ system of the human body that we are going to discuss today is the nervous system. First of all, we will try to understand what is the meaning of nervous system. It is a system which is made up of a group of organs which controls the activities happening in our body. If an ice cube is on our hand or palm, the skin of our palm tells our brain that the ice cube is cold. And what we do? We draw our hands or we just throw the ice cube because it is cold. This is the activities which is done by the brain when the sense organ gives a signal. Understood? If any danger comes in front of you, likewise, if I am shouting there is a snake in the class, what you all will do? You will try to run away from your place where you all have been seated. Means the moment you heard the sound, snake is there, by your ear. Ear is the sense organ. The sense organ sent the signal to your brain. The brain gives a command to your legs through the muscles that you should run away from your place. This is the activities which is done by the sense organs, brain and the muscles of your leg. This is all controlled and coordinated, means linked with each other. And this makes a system of your body which is known as the nervous system. Okay? The very first line, it is written here. This is the definition of the nervous system. It is a system of organs which controls and coordinates all the activities of our body. The very first organ present in this system is brain. You know what is the shape of the brain? It is very similar to this walnut. ये क्या है? अखरोट. And the shape of our brain is very similar to the walnut. And you can check, it is given in the textbook. Do you know also? The brain is roughly shaped like a walnut kernel. Even in some textbook you must have seen, it is looking like a very rough diagram of a cauliflower also. You know, the brain is the most delicate and important organ of the nervous system. The heart and the lungs, it is present inside the rib cage. The rib cage is the hard structure which protects the lungs as well as heart from the outer danger. The same way, the head portion which is made up of the skull bones. We have already read in standard 5 that the skull bones are made up of 8 flat bones which are tightly fused with each other. In this skull bone, there is a very small organ present, muscular organ, and you know it is very delicate. And this small organ is known as brain. It is situated in the head and is well protected by the skull. And it weighs nearly about 1.35 kg. The brain controls most of the human activities. Whatever activities we perform, it is all controlled by the brain. Even right now you are listening my lecture. It is also controlling by your brain because your brain is sending command to your ears that you have to be very attentive to the science class. One more thing. The brain is divided into 2 equal halves. One right half and the another one left half. And you know, the right portion of the brain controls the left part of the body, whereas the left portion of the brain controls the right part of the body. Means, if this is the left part, This left part will control all the functions of the organ which is present in the right side. आपके दिमाग का जो बायां हिस्सा है वो आपके शरीर के दाएं हिस्से में जो भी ऑर्गन्स प्रेजेंट है, it is all controlled by the left portion of the brain and vice versa. The right portion of the brain, it will control all the left organs of your body. Now try to understand that heart, which is situated to the left of your body, it will be controlled by which part of the brain? Try to think. Yes, the right part of the brain will control the function of the heart because heart is situated to the left of your body. Got my point? Now, one more do you know is there. By the age of 5, a child's brain reaches 90% of its full weight. If you'll notice the advertisement of Horlicks, or I think it is Bonvita or Complan, there it is saying that a child's brain develops almost 90% when a child is the age of the 5. Means the growing child, when a child is of age 5 years, he or she should take the proper diet or proper intake of nutrition should be there so that that brain will achieve or attain a proper growth. Clear? Now, the second organ which is involved in the nervous system is your spinal cord. The brain which is situated in the skull bone, it is connected with the vertebral column. This vertebral column we all have read in standard 5. As we all know, we can move in any direction. We can bend in any direction due to the presence of small bones, not only one, but 33 in numbers. There are 33 small bones present in our back, which is also known as backbone. And these small bones are known as vertebra. What we called it? Vertebra. And there are 33 vertebrae in our backbone, and backbone is also known as vertebral column. Now inside the vertebral column there is a thin tube. The thin tube is running inside the vertebral column which is known as spinal cord. It is a tube-like structure which is attached to the brain and it runs inside the vertebral column. The spinal cord is about 50 cm long. It carries messages from the brain to all parts of the body and from body parts back to the brain. Means when a danger comes in front of us, just like snake as I gave you example, the brain send the command to the muscles of your leg. The muscles of the leg and the brain, it is all connected through a tube-like structure which is known as spinal cord. Once again, the brain when got the message from the ear and brain when sends the message to the muscles of the leg, it is all connected through a thin tube which is running inside the vertebral column known as spinal cord. So spinal cord is very important in conveying messages from brain to the muscles and then receiving the signals from the sense organs to the brain. The third one is your nerves. The nervous system is made up of billions of nerve cells. As we all know, cells are the basic structure and functional unit of life. The same way, our nervous system is made up of not only one, many, or it is actually billions of nerve cells. And what is the function of nerve? They carry the messages throughout the body. And this message travels through the cells as a small electrical current called a nerve impulse. The way the electrical current goes in a very high speed, the same way this message goes to the brain and the command is sending to the other part of the body. It is going in just in a form of electrical current which is known as nerve impulse. So it is very important, mark it. The nerves are of two types. They are sensory nerves, the motor nerves. The sensory nerves carry message from sense organs to the brain and the motor nerves carry commands given by the brain to the muscles. Once again, what is the function of sensory nerves? The sensory nerves carry message from sense organs to the brain. Means sending of message to the brain, it is done by sensory nerves, and giving command from brain to other part of the muscles, it is done by the motor nerves. The last part which is involved in this organ is sense organs. Now, how many sense organs do we have? We have 5 sense organs. We all know: eyes, ear, nose, skin, and tongue. They all help in sensing different types of things, as they are: nose for smell, tongue for taste, skin for touch, eyes for vision, and ears for hearing. These sense organs, on receiving a message in the form of sensation, smell, touch, taste, vision, and sound, and send it to the brain through the sensory nerves. Okay. Now, another, do you know, this is very important. There are about 10,000 taste buds on our tongue. As we all know, the tongue is filled with many of the taste buds, and their number is about 10,000. And you know, we blink on an average about 6 times a minute. The number of blinking of the eyelids, it is normally 6 times per minute in a normal human being. So mark it here, IMP. So how many parts are there in the nervous system? There are 4 organs: brain, spinal cord, nerves, and sense organs, and they all work together to control and coordinate all the activities of the body. The next system that we are going to study or take up is the excretory system. Now what happens? As the body functions, many waste products are produced. These waste products need to be removed from the body. The excretory system consists of organs that help in eliminating the waste products from the body. When a machine works, we all have seen there are some products left out which is not used or which is undesired substance. The same way, our body is also functioning like a machine. And when so many systems are working, then at the same time, many of the things are produced which is not used by the human body. For example, I want to give you, we all have read about the respiratory system. Now what happens in respiratory system? When a person breathe in, oxygen enters the body, does all the function, produces the energy, and what happens? After the consumption of the oxygen, carbon dioxide is released. Now what we do with that carbon dioxide? Do we keep it? No, we do not keep, because the carbon dioxide is not good for us. It is harmful. We have to expel it out. So we breathe out the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is unwanted or waste product of our body. It should be eliminated or removed. The same way, there is a group of organs which help in removing the unwanted and the waste product of our body. And that system is known as excretory system. Now one more thing. The removal of the feces, stool, in common language we call it potty. It is completely different. आप यहाँ पे digestion का जो भी waste product आता है, वो यहाँ से बिल्कुल different है. ठीक है, हम यहाँ पे किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? Other than the digestive waste. डाइजेशन में जो वेस्ट आया था उसको छोड़ के आपके शरीर का जितना भी वेस्ट बनता है, when it is removed out, it is done by the group of the organs known as excretory system. And you know, the kidney is an excretory organ that filters out waste product. अभी तक हमने जितनी बार कोई सिस्टम पढ़ा, we have read that the blood is the only liquid which help in transportation of good things as well as bringing the bad things from the body. So what is actually happening? We are polluting the blood. हम लोग एक्चुअली खून को गंदा कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि खून ही एक ऐसा हमारे शरीर में है जो जितनी भी हार्मफुल सब्सटेंस है उसको कलेक्ट करके रखा हुआ है. तो what we have to do? We have to filter the blood. The blood should be filtered, and it is done by a pair of organ which is known as kidney. The kidney is the main organ which filter the blood. Is an excretory organ that filters out waste product from the blood and eliminates them in the form of urine. ये जो यूरिन हमारे शरीर में बनता है, ये यूरिन कब बनता है? जब हमारे शरीर का ब्लड प्यूरिफाई होता है। हमारे शरीर में ब्लड जो है वो न्यूट्रिएंट्स को भी कलेक्ट कर रहा है, ऑक्सीजन को भी कलेक्ट कर रहा है, हार्मोन्स को भी ले रहा है, सारी अच्छी चीज़ों को लेके शरीर में जा रहा है और काम करते करते वो कई बार अनवांटेड और हार्मफुल चीज़ को भी कलेक्ट करके रखता है. सो व्हाट हैपन्स, दिस ब्लड of your body comes to kidney for filtration, and when the filtration is done, the waste which is absorbed by the kidney, it forms urine. The skin gets rid of water and excessive salt in the form of sweat. पसीना आप सभी ने देखा है. Sometimes you must have seen the white patches on the shirt. Do you know what is that? It is the salt which is dissolved in the sweat and comes out during the sweating. Evaporation होता है, पानी सूख जाता है और नमक हमारी शर्ट पे रह जाता है. तो skin is also an excretory organ. Skin is also an excretory organ because it helps in getting rid of water and excessive salt in the form of sweat through sweat glands. हमारे स्किन के अंदर में, स्किन के नीचे में स्वेट ग्लैंड्स प्रेजेंट है. उसका काम है हमारे शरीर में जितने भी एक्सेस वाटर हैं और एक्सेस सॉल्ट जो हम खाना में खाते हैं वो हमारे शरीर में स्वेट बनकर बाहर निकलता है. इट ऑल्सो हेल्प इन मेंटेनिंग द टेम्परेचर ऑफ योर बॉडी. जब आप बहुत दौड़ के धूप के आते हो और आपके शरीर पे पूरा पसीना रहता है तो हैव यू टच्ड योर स्किन? आपका स्किन एकदम ठंडा होता है. द रेगुलेशन ऑफ टेम्परेचर ऑफ योर स्किन, it is done by the sweating, which is done by the sweat glands located on the skin. Lungs are also one of the excretory organ because they remove the carbon dioxide during respiration. Feces is eliminated from the rectum through the anus. ये सब थोड़ा थोड़ा काम करते हैं, but the major product is your urine. Urine is the major waste product of the body and is excreted through the urinary system. अब मेरी बात को ध्यान से सुनना, ठीक है? यहाँ पे हमने दो टर्म का नाम लिया है. वन, excretory system. इसका मतलब होता है elimination of waste. ओके, यहाँ पे कौन कौन काम कर रहा है? फर्स्ट वन, स्किन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्वेट. व्हाट इज स्वेट? स्वेट इज द वाटर प्लस सॉल्ट. द एक्सेस सॉल्ट डिजॉल्व्ड इन द वाटर फॉर्म्स द स्वेट. नंबर टू, lungs help in removal of CO2 through the respiration. Third one is your anus, or we can say the rectum, from where the undigested part which is known as feces, it is being removed. So they are the excretory system. And the fourth one is the major one. सबसे बड़ा हमारा किडनी का रोल है, which removes in the form of urine. Now what happens in the urine we will study later on. ये सारा excretory system में है, पर actually we are dealing about kidney only because urine is the major waste part which is formed in our body. बाकी सब का amount बहुत छोटा है. CO2 in small amount, sweat all in small amount, and feces also one or two time only. Actually, it is removed or expelled from the body. But kidney, it functions continuously to form urine and to excrete the unwanted part from the body. So, when we study about the kidney and this excretory organ forms a special system known as urinary system. बाकी सभी को हम excretory system बोलेंगे, ये भी है, ये भी है, ये भी है, ये भी है. But when we say urinary system, means we are talking only about kidney. Okay, so kidney is the bean shaped structure. राजमा आपने देखा है ना, बिल्कुल उसी तरह का ब्राउन शेप्ड का आपका दोनों ही साइड में there is a pair of kidney in our body. The kidneys are connected with a small tube. ये small tube है which is known as ureter. What we called it? Ureter. The ureter is connected with a bag-like structure this is your kidney. The kidney is connected with a tube-like structure known as ureter. Then ureter is opening into a bag-like structure known as urethra. Sorry, urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. Okay. Now, urinary bladder is opening into an opener which is known as urethra. Now, what happens? In the kidney, the filtration of blood takes place. Filtration of blood takes place. The unwanted things are absorbed by the kidney. जितनी भी unwanted चीज़ें हैं वो यहाँ पर किडनी में absorb हो जाती है along with the water. Urine is formed and this urine is transferred to this bag-like structure through ureter. Ureter is the pipe which connects the bag-like structure, urinary bladder and kidney. In the urinary bladder, the urine is stored for some times. Urinary bladder में urine थोड़ी देर के लिए stored रहता है. And when it is filled, it is expelled out from this opening which is known as urethra. Now you see, there is a pair of kidneys in the human body. Each kidney is brick red in color and is bean shaped. बिल्कुल राजमा की तरह होता है और उसका कलर भी कुछ वैसा ही होता है, brick red in color. They filter out waste products from the blood. They filter out waste products from the blood. These waste form a light yellow colored liquid called the urine. In this way, the blood gets purified by the kidneys. Kidneys help in removing not only harmful substances such as urea. हम जो खाना खाते हैं ना उसमें नाइट्रोजन सब्सटेंस भी होता है from the protein, and this nitrogen substance also forms urea which is not needed to our body. It is harmful and it should be removed, but also excess water from the blood. आपके blood में जितना भी यूरिया और वाटर होता है ये यूरिन बनकर किडनी में कलेक्ट हो जाता है. Clear? Now you can check the shape of the kidney. This is the vertical section of the kidney. This is ureter, yellow color. Renal artery. Renal is a term which is related to the kidney. Science में kidney के लिए हम renal use करते हैं. This is the renal artery from where the blood enters. This is the cortex part and this is the pyramid part. Clear? These are the two parts of the kidney. Cortex and this is pyramid. The blood is entering through the renal artery and the purification takes place. The urea and excess water is absorbed by the kidney, forms the urine which is collected in the urinary bladder through this ureter. Now, what is the function of ureters? The ureters are two thin-walled. Check here. This is the two thin-walled urine-carrying tubes. They start from each kidney and open into the urinary bladder. Starts from each kidney and open into the urinary bladder. Now, what is the role of urinary bladder? It is a small bag-like structure in which the urine is stored. A human being excretes about 1.5 to 2.5 liters of urine every day. Normally, a human being stores or excretes around 1.5 to 2.5 liters of urine every day, and sometimes it varies due to the intake of the water. The size and position of the urinary bladder varies with the amount of urine it contains. If the urine amount is maximum in the bladder expands, and if it is very less, then it contracts. Urethra. The urethra is a small tube-like structure through which the urine gets discharged. This is the bladder, which goes on expansion and contraction depending upon the quantity of urine collected in the urinary bladder, and this is a small tube through which the urine gets discharged. So this way we have finished the excretory system also, where the kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra, they all work together to complete the function of excretion. Now time for the homework. Your homework is, it will be given in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Bye everyone.